ritual, ceremony, sound therapies, shamanic healing, meditation, and personal transformation. Dr. Nur has presented academic and experiential workshops on the therapeutic nature of sound for over 4 decades and is regarded as one of North America's oldest and leading sound teachers and healers. His engagement with the compassionate teachings of the East, combined with his shamanic training, gives him a unique perspective among today's teachers. He has a Tibetan name, which is, I hope I pronounced this correctly, Menchak Rinchen, okay, which means precious esoteric wisdom. And he's also the founder of the Harmonic Therapy Association. He's a senior instructor for the 9 Ways Academia School and is an assistant to visiting Tibetan lamas and indigenous teachers. He also regularly hosts programs on nearly 100 ceremonial and ritual indigenous sound instruments and offers master classes on Himalayan gongs and the Bonpo Shang. And we'll find out more about this evening as we welcome Dr. Mitch Nur.
How was everybody this evening? Great. Great. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I want to thank Amy. I want to thank the folks here at Football Hill for hosting me. And I think you'll find this evening kind of interesting as well as enjoyable. I'd like to start with just playing these instruments. I'm always accused of not playing them long enough, so I figure I'm just going to get to it, and I'll play around with these, and then we'll take a break, and then if you have any questions or whatever, we can do that in the second half of the program. And I can do some, I'll take some questions, do some demonstrations with it to sort of support how I'm answering your question, etc. So what I'd like can we dim some of these down? I guess some of these spots would be okay. But the cans in the ceiling, can we kill those? These things up there? Yeah. All right, good. Nothing like a little set and setting. So raise your hand if you've done something like this before. All right, well that's good. Like that's just about half of it. That's pretty good, thanks. What I'm going to be doing tonight is I'm going to be working with the singing bowls, or what we call here in the West Tibetan singing bowls, even though the Tibetans really never made them. But it's good for branding. You know, the Tibetans are full of secrets, so if you don't know anything about them, then you don't have to explain anything, right? Actually, there's a lot to be learned about these. There's a lot of information on just that when you call them Tibetan, you're not going to find the Tibetan's going to be able to tell you. I'm also going to do something with the singing bell, the drill boo, or Ghanta, or Vajra bell, whatever you want to call it. Here in the West, we call it a singing bell. I'm going to do something with the paired hand cymbals. You may know them as Tingshas. Their oldest original name is actually Nagani Bell. Tingshas is like a modern name for it. And then I'm going to introduce you to something called the Bonpo Shang, which you probably never heard of. May not have ever even seen one. I'm sort of by ad hoc have become the world's expert on this instrument. There's a group of metal sound instruments from the Himalayas that I call the sort of the sacred sounding metals. And that's what we're going to sort of do here tonight. So once again, cell phones off, right? And what I'd like you to do is to relax, listen to the sounds, don't try to formulate any opinions when we take a break. You know, I'll answer any questions that you have about what was going on with the sound, but it would be best if you didn't have that kind of discussion going on in your mind while this demonstration is going on. We could look at this as a sound meditation. And meditation is not suppression of thought. Meditation is observing your thoughts. So why not just observe where the sounds are taking your thoughts to get an idea of sort of what's going on as part of your experience, okay? So it isn't about erasing your thoughts. You can't do that. I've tried. I'm not very good at it. But I can sure as heck observe my thoughts for extended periods of time, and that's what meditation is. It's learning about the nature of your mind. And that is one of the things that they do with the bowls. Okay, the bowls are used traditionally in what we call the nature of the mind studies. And now there's not too many people in the West that have a real clear experience with this, but in the Himalayas, Tibet particularly, nature of the mind was a big thing. The majority of the Tibetan Buddhist schools didn't do nature mind studies until very, very recently. Okay, like it was the 1970s when the Dalai Lama's group, the Yellow Hat sect, adopted it as a meditation technique. But it was only over the last 100 years that the Buddhist schools worldwide adopted this much, much older meditation technique from a much older organization known as, or tradition known as the Bon. We falsely accused them of being shamanistic. Having studied them for over 2 decades, I could understand why we would think that, but from within their tradition, that label doesn't necessarily fit them or do them justice, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start off with the Shang, and what I would like you to do is close your eyes, or at least half close them. Get yourself comfortable. You really meditate with your eyes open. I don't know where the thing got started where you had to close, where people closed your eyes for meditation, but it's traditionally taught in the East with your eyes open. But the eyes should be about halfway closed. Okay? Not necessarily looking at anything, not focused on anything. And then just sort of follow the sound. Don't get into any kind of conversation about what is he doing, I need to open my eyes and see. We will surely talk about it later. We don't want to get into this whole question and answer trap that we do to ourselves pretty much most of the way through the day, where we're basically bouncing thoughts back and forth while with ourselves. What we want to do is we just want to have a stream of thoughts that is not interrupted, just sort of flowing. And just like you would stand along a river bank and watch the water go by, that's what we want to do here tonight. So the sound is the water, and you're just going to watch it go by. You're just going to observe. And I'll call you out of it eventually. Or if things are really going well, maybe I don't need to call you out of it at all. But what I would like everybody to do is to take a really deep breath and just sort of just blow it out. Okay, very good. Excellent. Now what I want you to do is I want you to do a different kind of breath. I want you to inhale from the soles of your feet. And I want you to bring, like, the breath should be like a crystal clear air coming through your feet. And as you inhale and bring the air up through the soles of your feet, up through your body, and then when you exhale it, visualize that it is like a gray smoke, that you're purifying and cleaning yourself. And that